Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson had turned in a draft of a new Star Wars movie that they were supposed to be doing alongside Charmin Obai-Chinoy. And he is an Emmy and Oscar-winning documentarian. He also directed 2 episodes of the recent Ms. Marvel show.
Yeah.
To get some fiction on his resume.
Interesting.
But he's won an Emmy and an Oscar, so, I mean, the guy knows how to make movies.
Right. He's fine.
And so they turn in their script, and they're off the project. Days later.
What a way to say you don't like someone's work. What do you think happened there? Because I clearly don't have a good reference for this.
I honestly cannot tell you. There's been so much commentary about Star Wars films and what the heck is going on the film side. Because on the TV side,
they're killing it.
They are crushing it. Okay, Mandalorian's been great. Andor was so well made. It wasn't as popular, and again, it's definitely a different style of show, but it's so well made.
I should watch that.
Book of Boba Fett. You can critique some of the writing and some of the decisions they made in Book of Boba Fett, but it's a fun show. It's
great.
I appreciated Book of Boba Fett.
I really enjoyed it. I love Tamara Morrison.
More space western vibes.
More space western vibes.
Well, yeah.
Says producer Pete.
It is the Wild West, after all.
Again, aside from the fact that Tatooine, for being the backside of the galaxy, seems to be the center of the damn universe.
Seriously.
Okay. All that aside, I love Tamara Morrison. I loved him writing a Rancor.
Yes.
I liked seeing Ahsoka again. I even liked I got the 2-episode thingy. I liked the team up with him and Din in the last episode where Din's like, no, I stay with you to the end.
Yeah.
Right?
Even though Grogu is there now and has chosen him.
So good. And they've got so much stuff in the pipeline. So we got Ahsoka is coming this year. And I think that looks like it's going to be good.
Yes.
I imagine this season's going to end as kind of a bookend into where Ahsoka's going to go in. So I think Thrawn's the big bad evil guy.
Okay.
In Mandalorian. The Sith Acolyte show is actively in production.
Ooh, that's going to be good.
And I think that looks good. And
it's going to be so edgy, though.
Yeah. And they got the girl from His Dark Materials and who played X-23 in Logan.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh.
She's the main character.
Ooh, okay.
In Acolyte.
All right.
And I'm like,
I'm down.
So,
that's gonna be badass.
I am super excited on the TV side. And even the Bad Batch cartoon show is wonderful. It's so adorable, but also kind of hard-hitting at the same time, right?
So was Clone Wars.
Omega is a great character that they've introduced there, the little clone girl. She's amazing.
Yet another
showing the immediate aftermath of Order 66, the rise of the Empire, right after the Imperial rise, is great. The characters there are so much fun. These guys can't get a movie made to save their lives. It's been almost 4 years since we got a Star Wars movie. They announced so many things. So the biggest one that they put out press stuff for was Patty Jenkins, who had just come off Wonder Woman, was going to do Rogue Squadron. And they did this big promo video where they had a full-size X-Wing and her walking up to it.
We even did a video about that on our old Twitch streams. We were excited about this.
So it looked so good.
And then they canceled it.
And it's done. The Feige Star Wars one, I believe, is done. I believe it's dead. Benioff and Weiss were supposed to do a Star Wars movie. Dead. Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie is supposedly still in development.
I'm a huge Waititi fan.
Thor: Love and Thunder is the only thing he's done lately where I was like,
oh no, I even loved that one.
I liked Thor: Love and Thunder. I just think it was just 10% too cute. It was just 10% too much.
In my effort to embrace absurdism, right, Waititi has just literally fit right in there with it because of how absurd some of the things he does is.
They can't get a movie made to save their lives. And now you got this. These guys are known writers. They've done some stuff. They turn in the script, and 4 days later, nope, you're gone.
So, remind me of the excuse that was given.
There was none. They've literally not said why.
There was a quote that was
said,
though.
There's a quote he says at South by Southwest, and I'm going to be honest, it feels like bull to me. It feels like PR speak.
it is PR speak.
The degree of difficulty, this is what Lindelof said at South by Southwest. He goes, the degree of difficulty is extremely, extremely high. If it can't be great, it shouldn't exist. I think it's possible that sometimes when you hold something at such high reverence and esteem, you start to get in the kitchen and you go, maybe I shouldn't be cooking, maybe I should just be eating. We'll just leave it at that point. So I have a theory. And that theory revolves around 3 films. And I'm going to try and keep this, again, I want this to be a positive space. So I have off camera made my feelings about certain fandoms and how they react to things and things like that known. I'm not going to do that here. If you would like to know and hear me yell about that again,
we get salty.
You can come to the store and discuss it with me. I would be happy to talk about it with you at the store. You can find me at gamersheavenpnw.com.
Yeah.
This is very much one of those, we distill all of the opinions and rage and salt and everything that we have about everything, and we try to make it into a palatable and
reasonable thing.
Reasonable.
And again, the store is a community space. That's why we have that space. And again, it's not just for Twitch and YouTube. We have a physical space. So for those of you who are just catching us on YouTube, don't know about us, we have a physical space. You can come talk to us. This is the fun of the game store, and grab a boba tea or a beer and argue about Star Wars. That's what we all love.
Absolutely.
So my feeling is that Lucasfilm and the powers that be at Lucasfilm are gun shy, and they have become so gun shy. The stakes for a Book of Boba Fett or a Mandalorian, because of the budgets and the way that they're doing it, are so much lower, right? The budget for a Star Wars film is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $140 to $170 million. Meaning it needs to make anywhere from $450 to $600 million to break even, right? And I think that after The Last Jedi, Solo, and Rise of Skywalker, they have become, and this kind of goes to his comments.
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't be cooking, maybe I should just be eating.
Right.
And this also goes to, who was it? Kevin Smith said something a little while ago, because somebody had asked Kevin Smith, who's a big, huge Star Wars fan, would you ever do a Star Wars movie? And he said, not in a million years.
No, because
it's not, we're going to stay away from that. It's not just that. If it's not, and this goes to what Lindelof's saying, if it's not perfect, it just gets destroyed. And even when you look at episode 7, which was generally liked, it was still heavily criticized for being episode 4 redux.
Right.
All of the movies sans Solo have made money.
Right.
Okay. Multiple billion-dollar films.
Yes, Pete.
Do you think that because of the shows and how good they are, the bar has been set so high and they have 10 hours to tell a story that a 2-hour, 3-hour just not going to cut it anymore?
And that's very possible.
And that's very much what I think is going on. I look at the Obi-Wan show, and I enjoyed the Obi-Wan show. Now, originally that was supposed to be a movie. And now that I look at it, I'm like, you should have left it as a movie. It would have been a great 2.5-hour film.
Right.
And not I think it was, 6 episodes at half an hour, so it's like 4 hours probably of runtime, not a 4-hour show. I think that's probably one of the problems with Obi-Wan is it's a little over long because they just didn't have much story to tell. I think Lucasfilm has become so gun-shy about releasing anything, in spite of the fact that financially they've done fine.
Right.
One of the best films, arguably the best film since the originals, which was Rogue One, you and I talked about this pre-stream, has been released under the Disney banner, and I still absolutely adore Rogue One.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want a Star Wars movie. Stop canceling them, please.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, and actually Ishnatal makes a very good point here in the chat. The movies are fighting against random headcanons that if they don't match with that movie, it's going to be seen as garbage, even if it's the best film in the world. Which, yes, and we've seen this with Star Wars. We've seen this with Lord of the Rings. right? We've seen this with Game of Thrones. We've seen this with every single major like franchise that has an established fandom, right? We've also seen this with Disney movies, right? There's stupid discourse about some of the newer Disney movies coming out just because people want to have a freaking opinion about it, right? And insert their just whatever's about, choices made for these films. And it's honestly infuriating because it does touch back to the same point that we made yesterday about allowing creators
to create, right?
How are we going to get anything new and different if we're not going to allow people to either surprise us or go against whatever we thought was going to happen? How are we going to allow innovation and, like good experimentation if we're always going to be like, no, it's only supposed to be this way, and I hate it if it's not.
And I think we're going to touch on this at the end of the stream because we had a requested topic on Star Wars Visions.
Yeah.
And so we're going to hit on this at the end of the stream as we get closer to the end. I think you're partially right with that. I would push back a little bit against Ishnatal, and this is also something that we got to watch as people in the geek space, right? You got to remember, you're not just marketing to us, right? The people who have the headcanons and are going to see this as garbage, if it doesn't mention headcanons, are the very small minority of the movie-going audience.
They're just the loudest.
They're just the loudest, and they're the people that we, in our community, are the most exposed to.
Right.
Most normies don't care, right? And here's the thing. You don't get Marvel movies made, you don't get Star Wars movies made if only the geeks and nerds are going to see it.
Right.
Okay, if you were expecting that only comic book fans were going to go see Captain America or Avengers,
you wouldn't have made the movie.
They wouldn't have made the movies because there's not enough money to be made there. So I don't think it's, I do think that it is having an effect. I do think it's making them gun shy. I do think that the fan backlash is making them gun shy. I do think that there is a over-reverence of the source material, and maybe that's what Lindelof's talking about, is that we so over-revere this source material that they won't greenlight anything that's not seen as
perfection.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so they're letting perfect be the enemy of the good.
Well, and as somebody who literally lets perfect be the enemy of the good, right?
You understand.
I understand
you
that.
Empathize.
I suffer from the perfectionism.
Somebody brought up about getting prolonged lightsaber battles. So 2 things on prolonged lightsaber battles and not getting them in the series. 1, I'm kind of glad we don't, because we need to not just talk about Jedi and Sith, right? One of the things I love about The Mandalorian is we don't need to sift through a lot of Jedi.
They're just alluded to.
They're there, but who cares?
Their flavor.
Same thing with Andor. In Andor, there's no Jedi. We did get 1 prolonged lightsaber battle also in the Darth Vader Obi-Wan fight at the end of Obi-Wan, and I thought it was really well done. And yeah, it was essentially episode 4 V2 because it's supposed to rhyme.
Right.
So yeah, I want more Star Wars movies. They're canceling them left and right. I'm hoping beyond hope. Now, right before Chapek was fired, one of the things supposedly one of the things that was reported that he directed Kathleen Kennedy was stop announcing movies. Because they'd announced a bunch of stuff and then canceled it all. And so basically Chapek had said to her, you're not allowed to announce another movie until you are done, ready to go. Right?
It's loud.
Sorry. And guess what? Since then, they haven't announced a thing. And I think Iger may be holding on that same thing where it's until the contracts are signed and you've got script lock.
Shut up.
You're done.
Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Because you're horking everybody off. Our reverence over source material is why, in my opinion, the 40K show should be a new untold story. Probably.
Yeah.
I imagine. And we'll see what Cavill does with it. I think Cavill's going to get a little bit of grace because he's Henry Cavill. So yeah, we want more Star Wars movies. Hey, Disney. All right, Star Wars movie.
Also, thank you for making Bo-Katan a Disney princess.
Yes, we do.
Oh, it says here on the internet that you haven't liked or subscribed or hit the notification bell, and that if you don't, the IRS is going to punch you in the dink.